I'm Jeffrey Duerk. Title is Provost and Executive Vice President at University of Miami. So as Executive Vice President and Provost, the Provost of the university is the Chief Academic and Research Officer. So the academic deans all report up to me. But most importantly, I think my biggest responsibility is to be of service to the deans in advancing the research and academic mission of the schools, to make sure that we're providing them the resources to create not just the cutting edge curriculum that will allow our graduates, to be successful in their jobs, but for our students, when they graduate, to be leaders. It's not about creating alumni. University of Miami is about creating leaders. And to do that, you have to have a curriculum that's looking over the horizon. And I really think that's the role of the provost, is to work with the deans, to work with the center directors, to help the university see beyond the horizon, to capitalize on the expertise of the deans and the senior leadership of the faculty level, to understand where the world is going and create academic and research programs that put us in a position, in the future. I think there's a number of reasons. I often get asked from the perspective of the difference between Cleveland and Miami, and people are basically pushing the weather perspective, but no one should ever take a job because of the weather. The opportunity here at the University of Miami was just so compelling to have a comprehensive university that spans disciplines from medicine to engineering to music, communications, nursing. That comprehensiveness was something that was really compelling to me. Mm-hmm. And then from the other side was that it was a university where you could tell there was a commitment to change, commitment to moving forward in a very rigorous and intentional way. I looked at things like our roadmap to the next century, for example, the service standards, the core values of the university. The fact that the university has those and has initiatives, for example, like a culture of belonging, to be intentional about everyone on campus being valuable and valued. Those are really simple statements, but it's also really profound for a university to commit to those. And so it was a really just sort of it felt like a good match for me, where I could see where I would add value here, but also that those contributions would be valued. And then it was also very exciting to see the leadership team of Julio, the leadership team of a new chief operating officer, Jackie Travisano, coming in. We have 3 brand new deans. I was involved a little bit in recruitment of 2 of those. That's very unique for a university to have that much opportunity at the same time across 3 of its schools, across its health system. Steve Altshuler, our CEO of the health system, has been here for just a little over a year and a half. That's a pretty unique opportunity for all of those pieces to be falling into place at the same time. Mm-hmm. And what I want to accomplish is to make the University of Miami achieve its full potential, and to be even greater, achieve greater recognition in terms of being a leading academic and research institution in the United States and the world. Mm-hmm. We have part of our roadmap is to be, hemispheric, excellent, relevant, and exemplary. And I think that, part of my role is to not only achieve that part of the roadmap, but also to allow the university to contribute in a very significant way to the city, to the region, to the state, to the country, to the world. And, that's really what I think an exemplary research and academic institution should be. Even by my own personal philosophy that you asked me about, you only have integrity once. That's incredibly important. The whole issue of academic integrity, the work you do is your work. that when you hand in an assignment that you're attesting that this work reflects my ability. And of course we have team projects and there are things that we do where it's not just a student alone. But for the most part, I want students to allow us to assist them in achieving their potential. And the only way to do that is if there's a level of coordination and integrity between the student and the faculty, that the faculty has an accurate reflection of the student and the work that they're really doing. If that's not really their work, for example, then we can't help them. We don't have a good measure of where they are or where they really need help. I would also say to the students that, it's not about grades. It's about what you get out of the university. If you engage in the university and use these next 4 years for the undergraduates, or the next 2 years for the new master's students, or the next 4 or 5 or 6 years for the master's students, or the PhD students, or the medical students and law students. If you engage in this university and really take advantage of all that we have to offer, to take advantage of the comprehensiveness, to take advantage of the distinct cultural and diversity of the population here, I have no doubt that they will be leaders as a consequence of that engagement. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the things that we think about for the students is how to get them to reflect on the breadth of opportunities at the university and not just focus on their grades. Mm-hmm. I think one of the challenges for higher education is people are questioning the value proposition. Mm-hmm. Why should a family commit to, the cost of education? And I think that's framing the question wrong, because this is really a question of the value of higher education. If you look at virtually every economic measure of what's the value of a college education, the impact, the opportunities that flow from that are unmistakable. And so it's important to shift the conversation a little bit between the cost and the value, because the investment is worth it. I think that that's something that almost everyone would agree, is when you look at both the data and the anecdote, the individual stories of people's lives being transformed. And I think that's one of the things that I really like here about the University of Miami is we recognize that education is a tremendous vehicle for social mobility, for change of families' lives. And that's, in this area, for example, where you have, such the crossroads of Latin America, crossroads of, the Afro-Caribbean populations from Haiti and other locations, the opportunity for them to come here to Miami, the University of Miami, to get a University of Miami education, that represents an opportunity for a dramatic change in that family's life. And we take that responsibility very, very seriously. Mm-hmm.